Transcript is thinking about it. Okay. I think it's all good, Terry. I think it's recording and transcribing, so I think we're ready if you want to get things started.
Yes. Okay. So there are two things as we hopefully finish this document. One, I ask that everybody go in and make some notes, some talking points if there were areas that we needed to discuss. So I don't know if we got any comments, Jim, in the document or any comments from other people
Yeah,
from this committee.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see anything earlier in the document. Let's see if anybody added anything. There's some older comments.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think an older comment from Adam. I think these are older comments here as well.
They are. Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like anybody made any comments from where we stopped.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask the people who are here, are there particular areas that are left that we need to focus on? Are there any comments, any changes that we need to make going forward? Because, you know, we talked about having 2 meetings to finish this up, and I really want to be more productive than just going piece by piece in this document.
Hey, Terry, this is Eugene. You know, just comments. I mean, this is our document, so
Yes.
you know, nothing really to comment on the document itself. But to sort of piggyback off of what you're saying, agreed. I'd love the focus not to be on line by line, word by word, but you know, are there any areas that don't kind of outline and capture what I think I heard the discussion at the full commission of a month-ish or so ago?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if not, yeah, I mean, don't need a meeting for meeting's sake. So to the extent, you know, you were looking for 2 meetings, we can do this in one, you know, extra credit and move on so that it gets to the full commission.
I agree. And that was my second point I wanted to make, was that we did talk about this at the last full commission meeting, and it was made clear that the commission as a whole does not want to separate itself from I lost my train of thought, from finance and administration, but instead work hand in hand. So what we need to look at now, are there any areas in this document that we are uncomfortable with or that we feel needs to be changed, or are we ready to bring this forward to the full commission? Well, Jim, will you scroll just slowly down through this? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll just wait a few. Sorry, a few seconds, kind of.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
People to look to see if there's things they want to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Tracy has her hand raised.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Sarah. Tracy has her hand raised, and also Amy, I think, joined us as well.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear Amy. And
okay. I don't have a camera on this computer, so sorry.
That's
I don't know why I'm a symbol.
Well, we appreciate you being here. And Tracy, I see you have your hand up. You have the floor. If you're speaking, we can't hear you, Tracy.
She doesn't show as being muted
Uh-huh.
on Teams, so I don't know if maybe she lost connection or. Tracy, if you can still hear us, just pop something in the chat and let us know that you're still with us. And
She can
if you're
hear
not-
us. She's typing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm waiting to see what, I guess she's typing up her response since we can't hear her. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't think the meeting version tells you when, some, if you're on a messaging app, it tells you when someone's typing. Oh,
Yeah, she says she has some small comments. Her mic and video is not working. She thought she had the problem resolved. I have some comments. She's going to call in.
okay. Yeah.
Amy, while we're waiting for Tracy, do you have any comments or questions or thoughts on the document as is?
Just, I wanted to take a look again at the, professional review kind of situation. Which we had talked about.
Okay, that's Jim, this is up. Yeah. Up a little bit further.
I think
Okay.
4.9, we also touch on it. Of the FNA will receive feedback from VT chair. That's what we talked about last meeting
Okay.
on 4.9.
It's further down. It's executive program
Sorry.
director or whatever you're using.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
This one you're talking about, is this it, Amy?
I think so, but yeah, the performance process. I mean, my concern I issued before is that it seemed to override anything that, at least from my experience, I put in terms of comments about performance. And the other issue was trying to change the way commission does business by adding things in the performance review of the executive director. Those are my two concerns.
Where's the changing? I'm sorry, Terry, go ahead.
I didn't say anything. Go ahead, please.
Where's the changing the business of the commission piece?
We talked about it, but I don't see it.
I think we corrected that in the last meeting.
Okay.
I do know that we put that in the middle where you see and rating, we added the feedback incorporated into the program director's performance evaluation and rating where appropriate. I know there was a concern that if there were two of us looking at the performance evaluation, then both ratings should be used. And I guess
that
averaged.
was important. Yeah, because that wasn't the case. Yeah, it should be used. That's what I feel.
Okay.
And Terry, if I may, we may have brushed on this in the last meeting, but I don't think we got this far in terms of how far we got in the review, because I put the note restart here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we maybe were bouncing around a little bit. So I think maybe it was something maybe in the chair responsibilities section. I'm not sure.
Work with
Yeah,
FNA
yeah.
designated leadership on the performance evaluation of FNA program director.
Right, and I think the committee added that last time. Added that sentence.
Amy, do you feel that the two areas that we've looked at just now incorporate your feedback, or do we need something further?
Yeah, if you have and rating down below, that makes a difference. I don't. My other concern, which I don't see laid out here, is trying to change the way the commission does business or does operations by putting additional things in the executive director's performance review.
Okay.
Amy, I did find that that's listed under the chair of ET's responsibilities. We omitted that last meeting, where it says call all quarterly meetings and special meetings in coordination with the approval of the F&A program director. We took out that last sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think that was related to the meetings.
Mhm.
Because I think that was from the original, that I think is from the original executive order language. Amy, is that what you were talking about? It's on the screen right now, this bullet point here.
No, it came up last year when the way we were the F&A liaison had a different idea about the way we run our meetings and put something in your performance review, and that was concerning to me without bringing it to the commission or even the leadership.
So,
Does 4.9 or that subsection in 3, sorry, Carrie, capture and clarify that the performance plan and review will be done together? You know, be it the add of the and rating of and the sub bullet under the chair's responsibility of working with, however it was worded, working with F&A on the performance plan.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm talking about, thank you for your response, is last year there was an added performance element to Jim's review, which required, issued concern about the way we ran our meetings, the way we ran the meetings, not calling the meetings, and put something in his review, performance review, which means that we would have, it was looking like it was dictating the way we want to run our meetings. And I don't know what the language would be around that, but I have brought that up more than once. And I don't know how to fix that, or make it clear that if anybody from F&A has a concern or issue with something to do with the way the commission does business, they should address the commission leadership, and it should be under discussion with the commission and not just something that shows up in Jim's performance review. Just want to make sure that that's understood, and I don't know if we need to necessarily put that in here, but that did happen last year.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what you're referencing, but I guess my question is the language in 4.9 of or 3.5, does that capture the partnering of intent of developing the plan and doing the performance evaluation?
I don't really see it in here. I know it's a partnership, and I think it addresses most of it. It's just my main, and I really do want it to be a strong partnership. We've all been figuring all of this out in the last year and a half, 2 years, about where things are, what our perceptions are, how processes work with both or all three entities, really, the staff in Volunteer Tennessee, the commission, and F&A. I would like feedback and discussion and review of something if it affects the commission operations before it just shows up in Jim's review as something he's going to be graded on with respect to how the commission does evaluations or other things. I just would like the discussion to be up front if there's an issue, which can be in a called meeting, it can be in a committee meeting, or maybe a discussion with the executive committee. But if there are changes that are desired or discussion, more information needed before that scenario, I hope that's what everybody's intent will be going forward.
It sounds like, I mean, the current version covers pretty well, it seems to everybody's agreement, the review process, but I think, Amy, what you're talking about is the development of the performance plan for the
Yes,
executive director. So I don't know what that means in terms, I don't think sorry, I can't figure out how to do a split screen on the web version of Microsoft Word.
it's not addressed in 3.9. That's about the review on the back end, not on the performance plan per se, which is what I'm glad you said that, because I wasn't coming up with it.
Yeah, because the 3.4 talks about the performance evaluation, and 4.9 covers a bunch of things, but also includes the evaluation.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents. It's, you know, if something gets added to your performance plan that involves commission business, and there is a concern or an issue, and then you've been given a directive without discussing it with the commission or commission leadership, and you're being judged on that, I would just like it to be more on the front end, on the discussion or the question or the inquiry, before it just shows up in your performance plan, is what I would like to see. And I don't know where that would go, if it goes anywhere.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Adam's obviously not here, but Eugene is, so maybe he can talk on Adam's behalf. I mean, the only thing that I could see that would not require a whole lot of rework would be to potentially add performance plan.
You could say plan and evaluation, I guess.
And performance evaluation.
Well, it's the plan is what's I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, that would take care of the 3.4. I think that the 4.9 has got a lot of different stuff in it. So it could potentially fit in this sentence here. If feedback from the volunteer chair regarding the program director's performance plan and performance.
I would like to see that. I don't really see where it would be harmful. I think it would be going forward, it would be it would be helpful.
Do we want to put a sentence in here that F&A, in working with VT chair, some sentence saying that they will work together if any additions or changes are made to the performance plan, something like that?
Well, the performance plan is new every year, so there's no additions or changes. It starts fresh every year. Now, granted, it, you know, builds on itself, and, you know, some of the thing is operational, but there are other things that are maybe specific to goals or things going on every year. So not saying no to that. I don't think it's building on or changes to. I think it's, you know, feedback in developing the plan. I mean, you could almost regurgitate to some extent what you said up there in that bullet in 3.5. You know, I think that's the intent and how it's worked is, you know, the chair's provided, recommendations for inclusion in the, performance plan. And then each interim and final period provides feedback on performance. I mean, I think, I don't have Jim's IPP pulled up, but I mean, I think several of the goals are very specific to the board of kind of activities and the goals of the overarching, commission. So,
Well, would everybody be okay with just kind of with that same one up there? Just F&A will receive feedback from the VT chair regarding the program director's performance plan and performance. Does that cover what you're talking about, Amy?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
And-
Thank you.
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Could you also add back in the 3.4, work with F&A designated leadership on the performance and evaluation and the development of the performance plan of the F&A program director? Since it's fresh every year, then I guess it's kind of realigned, and those goals that you build on are added onto, and then maybe new goals are set. And, you know, maybe the chair helps develop those new goals as it goes.
I like that because it does clarify even more that it's a collaboration.
yeah, the chair is providing input and recommendations into what the commission would like to see as part of the plan.
Yeah. So Tracy, I think you're joining by phone, so you may not be able to see, but to try not to have to add an additional bullet point, it just says work with, so this is under the 3.4, the chair responsibilities, work with F&A designated leadership on the development of the performance plan and performance evaluation of the F&A program director.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds, you know, like, I mean, it's the whole it's the whole process that the state has at the moment, right? So it's, you know, you do the evaluation and then you develop the performance plan, and you can even add, I think somewhere in here, and I can't remember where I read it. You know, and even if F&A and the chair wanted to be together when they provided the program director's feedback, I mean, you know, if they wanted to do that together, that may not be possible because of timing and time commitment, but you know, that could be, you know, so that we're together.
Well, I think that's already, you know, covered as part of providing that feedback throughout the process.
Okay.
And the intent.
Yeah, I'm just, Adam had added some detailed comments under 4.9 in terms of the workflow. So if you saw something like that, it would probably be in those notes, I would think. But I'm not sure.
Is there any place in, I guess the final thing for, you know, I'm hoping on the evaluation and the um, development of the performance plan, um, that to sign off that both parties are in agreement um, with this, or I don't know exactly how it, every place works differently, so I don't know, in collaboration, or if there's disagreement with this, how would that be worked out?
Well, I mean, so to be blunt, I mean, there's no, at least in this agreement, nor in the process, there's no arbiter, if you will. At the end of the day of, and this is going to sound more blunt than than I intend it to be. At the end of the day, F&A is the employer and maintains the final say, but the intent is to work in collaboration and getting feedback and input and feedback into the development of the plan, the goals and intent and needs of the commission, and then how Jim.
Hello, this is Amy. How can I help you?
Amy,
you're
yeah,
mute.
Joe, I have to call you back. I'm in the middle of a Zoom.
You can mute.
hold on.
She may be off now.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. Lost my train of thought now, but the intent, who was asking that, Tracy, I think, is to work together. But at the end of the day, if there's F&A ultimately holds the final say, if you will, of the plan, the rating, and that. But the intent is working with Terry, the chair, in providing feedback on Jim's both performance and the goals for the future year.
Tracy and Amy, are you okay with what we have presently?
Yeah,
I'm
I
okay
am.
with
I
that.
mean,
Okay.
if it's a collaboration, I don't know if we have to detail discussion or anything, but that seems like it's illustrated with the collaboration.
Okay. Okay, so if everybody's good with that, can we move forward?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Is there any other, anything else in this document that we need to discuss and possibly change, or is everybody good with what we have thus far?
Terry, this is Tracy again. There
Yes.
are two very, very minor additions that I would like to add in 6.1.
Okay.
Where it says F&A will continue to provide administrative support. Would we consider administrative support services, because that's what the executive order says? And then on 6.4, the same, when it says support, we put support services because
Okay.
that's the language of the executive order.
Okay. Support financial and where does I see that? 6.4.
And budget.
Yeah, budget
Yeah,
support
budget
services.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for catching those.
And then this is a little picky thing. It's 6.5.
I'm taking this to get you.
And it refers to staff, but in previous in this document we've called them VT staff, I guess. I guess it's okay. No, we identified. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
We identified staff refers to VT staff, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. No, that's okay. 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 All right. Anything else? Thank you, Tracy, for those additions. I think those were good. Okay.
What was the discussion on the end on the term of this agreement?
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, it looks like, so there's some notes from before. So Jessica asked in the comments whether or not that meant that it needed to be reviewed and signed each year. I don't think that was the intent, that it would be reviewed every single year, but that, and then I added a note that we potentially need to, we replace that will continue unless both parties agree to terminate, or something similar.
Hey, Lucian's on, I think he's on vacation, but, still
Thanks, Lucian.
join. Hey, Lucian, do you have any suggestions for how to kind of create a perpetual sort of document and language in this
Well,
term?
You can say, I guess you want both parties to have the decision to terminate it, or it will continue on unless some circumstance triggers it. I think I can wordsmith something with a little bit of time, but that's the idea, that you want it to continue unless something, either party wants to revisit one of the terms or something like that.
Yeah, so for those who aren't steeped in legal language, I think there's a unilateral right to termination and then a bilateral right to termination. And I think what the group discussed earlier is that both parties would need to agree to terminate it, I think, is what we talked. It's been a while, so so I don't remember exactly. So that would be a bilateral termination. Or either party could say, we don't like this anymore, we're going to terminate it. And that would be the unilateral right to termination.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, to just state the obvious, not a whole lot changes at that point, because the executive order is what the executive order is, and Volunteer Tennessee is still attached to FNA. So, I mean, but if somebody feels more comfortable kind of laying out some language for a termination or a revisit, I may, you know, call it more of a revisit versus a termination, because
Yeah, I mean, we've talked.
there's probably
in
a
terms
legal
of
term for revisit better than.
Yeah.
Say again, Luke, sorry.
that the entire document is couched in building the relationship and how we're working together to end it with one party, or how we're going to terminate this sort of takes a different different direction, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, does anyone feel strongly that we need to change? It will continue on a year-to-year basis?
Well, I think the problem that Jessica was pointing out, if it says year-to-year basis,
Mhm.
it implies that the entire thing has to be reviewed and renewed and agreed to every year, as opposed to something that's indefinite until both parties say, we need to revisit this. Which is probably a better thing to do, to just let it stand until
Right.
everybody says, we need to look at this.
Let's tweak, let's.
right.
Or do we need to wait for some clarifying language from Lucian for this piece?
I would suggest that anything that's added wouldn't be, hopefully, if others agree, wouldn't be significantly material to cause the need for a whole nother meeting. If you can kind of articulate what, or Luke, if you think you've sort of heard what the goal is, to me, it's basically that this is a perpetual agreement, but, may be reviewed,
If
I mean,
a
I
party
guess
wants to revisit something.
any agreement that two parties enter into, if the two parties then agree, can be reviewed. But something, I forget who even brought that up, and I know Jessica's out, but Terry or Tracy or Amy, does that sort of rambling capture what you think we'd like to end this on, to Luke's point, on a more positive than here's how we cancel this?
Sure.
Well,
as-
yeah, I
as
mean,
far as me, I
it
just-
it could be reviewed every year. I don't know if you have to create a committee or reviewed upon, I mean, if someone has a question or wants to change something. I don't know if you need to, I mean, it looks to me like this just gets renewed every single year, but I know we were talking about being a working document until or if we ever decide to do something different. So I don't know if, upon review every year, I don't know. I don't know if we want to review it and make sure we need to tweak anything. Does anybody else have some feedback? Sorry.
I mean, you could
I mean, I don't,
build in language that
usually-
authorize the chair. I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to suggest it shall continue on and may be amended upon request, or it may be amended by request of one of the parties. And then we would work through whatever the potential change is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, how about, and Lucian, let me know if this doesn't make sense, but it will continue unless both parties agree to amend or review or something like that. Or it will continue either until or unless both parties agree to review or amend or something along those lines.
I'll put some words together and circulate it to the group. That's all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then maybe we can share that, and if others don't have concerns, then, maybe there's no need, but if, someone does have a concern with the language that Luke provides, then, you can call another meeting, I guess, but.
Okay, that sounds good. So, Lucian, if you'll send that out, we can review it. And then if everybody is good with the language that we've finally come up with in this document, this memorandum of agreement, we can bring this forward to the full commission at our next meeting.
I will say I'm good with it.
Okay.
And that's not until August, so there's plenty of time to get the suggested language on that termination part or the review and send it out to the committee for the committee to weigh in and thumbs up, thumbs down before the next meeting.
Okay. That sounds lovely. Any other comments, questions, concerns from this group? I really appreciate the work. I know it's been difficult at times, but I'm glad that we've made it through. And I think this is something that we can, I'm proud of it and able to see where F&A works with the commission and the staff. I think this was good. This was good work. If there are no other comments or questions or concerns, I think we can adjourn the meeting a little early. And Lucian, we'll look forward to seeing what you create for that, the term piece. I don't think we need to meet again unless we have some comments or concerns from that, from what Lucian creates for us. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Terry,
We'll circulate it.
Terry, what I'll do is I'll take this the online document and just download it as a Word document and
Mhm.
send that out to the entire group as a PDF attachment,
Okay.
just so that everybody doesn't have to go on to, the SharePoint and figure out, they can have it and, look at it easily.
Good. That sounds great. Lucian, were you saying something as well?
Just saying I will circulate that to this group.
Okay. Thank you so much. I know you're on your vacation. I appreciate you being on this call with us and helping us with the language.
No problem.
Okay. All right. If that's it, we can end this meeting and thank you all for your work and look forward to finishing this up and then bringing it to the entire commission next.
Thanks so much,
Great.
everyone.
Thanks
Okay.
all.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you.
help. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.